Today's Q&A is about hard-boiled eggs, and the question is it true that there are rabbis who say you could eat hard-boiled eggs in a non-kosher restaurant, just by plain hard-boiled eggs and just eat them? So the answer to this is a drop complicated, but it's not complicated that there is no question that that's incorrect. You cannot eat hard-boiled eggs in a non-kosher restaurant. I'm going to explain why. The beginnings of the thinking are that no blia can get through the egg, through the shell. It's impossible for any non-kosher taste to get through the shell, and that's based on an incorrect reading of the Gemara. That is like this. The Gemara says in Chulun Daf Tzadiches that if you cook an egg from a non-kosher bird, like an ostrich laid an egg, and you take that egg and you cook it in the same pot as an egg from a kosher bird, like from a chicken, the kosher bird stays kosher. Nothing happens. Time does not transfer. What happens if it wasn't an egg from an ostrich, it was an egg from a kosher bird, but a new chick had started to form inside of it, which would be not kosher, then the kosher egg does become treif. Okay, so only time that comes from a non-kosher bird, that's the one that can't transfer into the other egg. But if it comes from a kosher bird, but there's an actual chick starting to form in it, then it would become treif. And the Rishonim explain that the difference is like this: that if the only reason why it's non-kosher is because it came from a non-kosher bird, and inside the egg is just liquid egg, just like what's inside of an egg, that's called maya de be'e alma. It's just the liquid of an egg, and that cannot pass through the shells. But if it's treif for some other reason, like there's a chick starting to form into there, then yes, tam can transfer. Okay, now this is brought in Shulchan Aruch and Siman Pei Vav, and the Achronim talk about exactly which shell is the one that protects it. Is it the shell of the treif bird? Is it the shell of the kosher bird? Is it maybe the shell of both of them to protect them? But in some way, the shell can protect from tam passing from the non-kosher bird from the non-kosher egg to the kosher egg. But even if whichever case it is, whichever shell it is that protects, it only protects when the issue we're dealing with is an egg that has an egg from a non-kosher species, where we could say maya de be'e alma. It's just liquid inside of there, and that can't the tam from that doesn't pass through the shell. But what happens if there's something that's more treif than just a liquid that's inside of an egg? It's treif because there's a chick starting to form. Then tam would pass through. What happens if it wouldn't even be that at all? What happens if it would be just a plain old piece of meat, a treif meat into the pot? Or it's in a pot that was used an hour ago for something that was treif, then tam would transfer through. The fact that there's a shell on there does not protect it. The shell only can protect tam of a very, very specific type of tam from transferring from one egg to another. But if there's something treif inside in the pot, or the pot was used for something treif previously, then tam does transfer, even though the kosher egg is inside of a shell. Okay, so that's why someone to say this would be just a misreading of the Gemara, thinking that shells protect no matter what. In fact, that's not correct. Shell only protects in from a very specific type of treif egg, but not from any other eggs. Of course, this whole discussion is just about, did the egg get tam? Does it get some flavor from the non-kosher food that was cooked in the pot? There's a whole different question, which is the hard-boiled eggs might require bishul yisrael. They might need to have a Jew participate in the cooking. That's a separate question, a separate reason why the eggs, you wouldn't eat eggs in a non-kosher restaurant, but that's separate from our discussion.